Hey guys, we were about to get into this catalog, but I just wanted to make mention really quickly that this 3-pack of hopper cars is for sale on eBay right now. There are no bids as of this moment, so if you're interested, you could buy from me direct, and you could save a few dollars without having to pay taxes on eBay, and then I won't have to pay eBay fees, so it'll work out good for both of us. So I'm throwing into the 3-pack one of these Coal Goes to War hoppers, and so that'll make it a little bit more interesting. Also, one of the options is to have it weathered. You can see the 2-pack here that I've weathered for another customer. So if you'd like that, you can have them weathered. Also, you could have custom coal loads if you'd like. So this is real rock applied to the top of the Lionel coal loads, so that is an option. And if you're interested, contact me. I will put my email in the description of the video. Also, really quickly, I am condensing my collection. So if you're interested in anything that is in my collection, if you'd like to purchase something, let me know by emailing me. So I could tell you that my Golden Gate Depot, Pennsylvania, and New York Central stuff is off limits. So is my Vision Line stuff, and so is my Lionel Legacy Long Island Railroad stuff. But the rest of my collection, for a reasonable offer, I might consider selling. So email me if you're interested. Thanks, guys. Let's get into this catalog. So here we go. Lionel's 120 Years 2020 Volume 2 catalog. So let's take a look. These are my personal highlights, so I'm not going to go through the whole catalog. I'm just going to show you what I really like. And there's a lot of things that I like, so I am not pre-ordering everything that I like. I just said that I'm condensing my collection, so part of condensing means that you tame down your pre-orders a little bit. But here we go. There's still some great stuff in here. The internet's a bit slow. There we go. First major highlight. So from the 1939 New York World's Fair, we have the American Railroad S1 steam engine, and this is actually the largest steam engine in the United States to have ever been created. Awesome stuff. So it's the Pennsylvania Railroad S1, and you could probably take a guess which one is my favorite, the American Railroads, because this was displayed at the 1939 New York World's Fair. And I have, as you know, I have the Golden Gate Depot Fleet of Modernism set, and the in-service S1 would be perfect to pull that. However, I thought it would be really cool and really interesting to get the World's Fair version, because not only could I pull it with my Fleet of Modernism set, why not, but I could also replicate it being delivered to New York City, to the World's Fair. It would have to go across the Long Island Railroad to get to the World's Fair. And this is how it worked. It went from Altoona, Pennsylvania, where it then interchanged with the Lehigh and Hudson Railroad, which would take it to an interchange point with the New Haven Railroad. The New Haven Railroad then pulled it across the New York and Connecting Railroad over the Hellgate Bridge into Queens, New York by the Pennsylvania Railroad Sunnyside Yards. It would then have to make a reverse move from there and go up onto the Long Island Railroad's Port Washington branch to reach the World's Fair. So that would be really cool, to be able to have it pulled by the Pennsy K4 in my collection, and then to the Lehigh and Hudson Railroad, which is featured later in this catalog, and then interchanged with some Long Island Railroad steam to be pulled into the New York World's Fair, which is at Flushing Meadow Park. And the way that the railroads would access that was through Long Island Railroad's Port Washington branch. That's how the stuff was delivered. So really cool. So I am definitely considering this piece here. This is probably the main highlight of the catalog for me, and it happens to be the first page of the Legacy Steamers. So really cool stuff there. And let's take a look. We have an in-service version, and then we have a calendar version which has that really cool logo on the front, and then we have a Fleet of Modernism fantasy scheme, which is absolutely beautiful. I really think that should have been done. Had this stayed in service longer and been more of a success, it should have been painted like this. Ryan Kunkel, kudos. That's really, really beautiful. Moving on. There we go. There's the South Wind. I live in the deep South now, so that Station Sounds Diner is definitely a consideration. However, I don't want to do the whole set. I have a Fleet of Modernism set, and I'm more interested in the 1950s South Wind pulled by my Alco PAs, and actually a Golden Gate Depot North Coast Limited dome car, dome sleeper, is on its way to me to help me make up my Southwind consist. In the 1950s, in the wintertime, a Northern Pacific North Coast Limited dome sleeper was run through on this train all the way to Miami. So that's the era I'm looking to model. But the really cool thing is that some of the Fleet of Modernism paint scheme cars were held over into the mid to later 1950s. And this Bud-tooled dining car is 100% prototypical. One of the Bud diners on the Pennsylvania Railroad fleet was painted in this scheme, and it held over for a little while. So definitely going to get that. Here we have the 460s, which is cool. I wish they'd done a brass hybrid to get me a Long Island Railroad G5, but they did not do that. If I was to pre-order one of these, it would be the Rutland to replicate the Rutmilk train from Vermont and New England down to interchange with the New York Central, and then the milk cars would all run down into Manhattan, into the meat markets and the industrial section of Lower Manhattan, Hell's Gate, as it was called. So I'm not going to pre-order this. If I could find it after it comes out at a really good price, I'll pick it up. But I am not interested in this enough to pre-order it, but if I was to do one of these 260s, it would be the Rutland. Here we have the two 882s. I really like the features they're putting into this, but with the S1 being issued in the same catalog, I am going to have to pass. It's just too much fundage to put out, so there's no way I could make that happen with trying to condense. So if I was going to do one, I'd do the Pensy, either that or the B&O. Really spectacular. I'm not going to pre-order it, but if I could pick one up in about a year from now, then I will. But really spectacular stuff. I love the fact that they're putting the simple valve feature in it. It was featured on the latest rendition of the Lionel Legacy Y6B, where it starts off with the drift chuff, or 8 chuffs per revolution, and then once it gets to a certain speed, it clicks into 4 chuffs, like a true Mallet steamer. So really cool. Really glad that they're doing that, and of course it has whistle steam. Good stuff. Okay, here we go. Lehigh and Hudson River. Going to go in for that. I don't have any Mikados in my collection. I don't have any 282s, and I just love water level route stuff. Anything along the Hudson River from that time period, I just love. Getting this one right here. Absolutely spectacular. Sorry about the lights, the glare. That's my living room light reflecting. On to the diesels. I love E7s, but I just spent a truckload on my E7s from Sunset Models in New York Central, so I'm going to be passing. If I was going to get one, it would definitely be the Pensy ABA set, and you know, I'm saying no right now, but I might change my mind later. Let's see what happens. It would be perfect for my 48 Broadway Limited, but being more of a New York City kind of a modeler, I'm very happy with the GG1s I have for my 48 Broadway Limited. So we'll see. I had the Sunset E7s from years ago. I sold them. Don't really miss them. So I also have Legacy Alco PAs. So not sure. I would have to sell the PAs probably at a tremendous loss if I was to go in for these. So thinking about it, not sure. I might do it. But if I do, then the PAs will be for sale. So we'll see. New York Central, Southwestern Limited. I've got so many Golden Gate Depot New York Central cars that no need for this. I like that green baggage car, but not at $189 MSRP. So, you know, just a straight up truth there. But, you know, the only reason why I'm saying no to this is because I have a ton of New York Central in my collection already. But nice stuff, though. Really great set. Great idea. It really is a great idea. More E7s. Love the Southern Pacific Golden State. Love it. Not going in for it because it's just too heavy of an investment, but I love it. I love that color scheme. And there's all the passenger cars, you know. I wish I could, but, you know, for probably be about $3,000 to get all this, and it's all plastic. So for that reason, I'm good. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want it to be aluminum and hand-built. The Lark, very cool. I like the CSX. Those came into New York City, and I have all the flat cars with trash containers to go with that. But I also have several other switchers that could pull those flat cars with trash containers. So maybe, we'll see. But I really do like it, and the graffiti is incredible. I wish they did a CSX version like that. But the CSX ones that I've seen in real life don't have graffiti. But still, really cool. Love that graffiti one. My friend Matt Trainlover 9943, I think, is going to pre-order this one. And, you know, good for him. That's really cool. GP7s, GP9s. I have so many high-hooded units in my collection, don't need any more. That's just me personally. Shark noses, cool stuff. Not going to pre-order, but if I was, it would be this one here. This was a coal hauling railroad upstate New York and into Pennsylvania, very similar to the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh Malay I have. Hang on a sec. Sorry, guys. There we go. We'll get that glare out of the way. So, Monongahela. I can't even pronounce that right. I'm sorry. I'm not an expert on this railroad, but I did the research as to where it runs, and it kind of mirrors my BR&P Malay just a little bit. So I'm not going to pre-order any of these, but that one's got my attention the most out of all of them. And then, of course, we have the U.S. Army shark nose here with the actual shark teeth. So that really is cool. I do like that. Not enough to pre-order it because it's not cheap, but I like that. That's really creative. Moving on. This is not even close to the prototype. Beautiful paint scheme, but you know what? I don't want Union Pacific passenger cars on my New York Central stuff. You know, I'm a little too much of a stickler for prototypical accuracy for this set. Not knocking it because I'm sure it'll do well. It's a really great idea, but it's just not for me. We have some GP7 freight sets. That's pretty cool. Love these Penn Central B60 baggage cars, but not at $189 MSRP. If I can get them for $100, $125 a piece, I would do it. So might check the pre-order, see what I could do. Maybe get a combined shipping rate for both of them. I don't know, but not at $189. That's insane. But they are beautiful. Theater cars are back. Open hatch PS1 box cars, you know, top hatches. I like the Southern and I like the Norfolk Western. Might go in for one of these. If the hatch is opened, I'd go in for two because you know how I like to detail my freight cars. The sealed hatches, for me, just, it doesn't do it. Neither does a $95 MSRP. But I really like the box cars. I might see if one comes up on eBay after they're produced for like $65. At that point, I would go in for one. Got some Diecast Stoppers. Now this is a highlight for me, the Pensy. And the reason why is because these ran on the Long Island Railroad into the 1980s. They weren't even repainted. So for me, that really is an awesome highlight. And I will be definitely going in for a few of these. And also some Conrails to recreate the coal train that was pulled by the C420s, the Blue Wave C420s, into Kings Park Psychiatric Hospital right up until the mid to late 80s. And so I am definitely going in for a bunch of these. I don't really need all 6. I'll probably do 4 of the 6. So, but that is a definite pre-order right there. And they're all die-cast metal. And I think this about does it. Yeah, now we're into the semi-scale stuff. So that about does it. Highlights for me, the top 3, the hoppers here, the PRR hoppers, the Hudson, not the Hudson, I'm sorry, the Mikado, the Lehigh and Hudson River Mikado, and then of course the S1. Those are my 3 big highlights from this catalog, and they are absolutely fantastic. So, alright guys, just kind of flipping through. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.